Magomed Ankalaev, Johnny Walker goes down at UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi. I'm really excited for this fight. I've seen a lot of different takes out there, a lot of different opinions, so I'm going to give mine here in this video. I'm going to break down a couple different things that we should all be looking out for, just in my opinion, and something that I think, just is just the facts when it comes to this fight. And that's, everyone seems to think that this is some firework matchup, that this is some firefight, and is just going to be this back and forth exchange between these two. I don't see it that way at all. I think that this is, I don't want to say a mismatch, because Johnny Walker, I've always said, is kind of a wild card. When Johnny Walker gets in there, he's very inconsistent. Johnny Walker's very inconsistent. There's times he goes in there, he fights against Anthony Smith, and he's just like, he doesn't put his foot on the gas. I feel like he could have possibly have finished Anthony Smith and got him out of there. It's an older, labored Anthony Smith who just was getting his legs beat up. That's been a weakness that we've seen from Anthony Smith. And Johnny Walker was just kind of playing patty cake in there. He wasn't looking for the finish. He wasn't looking to get the job done. And I just feel every time we've seen Johnny Walker go up against some striker that is a very high-level guy that has legit knockout power, he gets KO'd. Like what we saw against Jamal Hill, I see this fight playing out very similar against Magomed Ankalaev. I think Magomed Ankalaev has the ability to knock Johnny Walker out with that piston left hand that he likes to throw. And I think that if Magomed wants to take this fight to the floor and make it boring, he has the ability to do that. I don't see what Johnny Walker, other than a Hail Mary flying knee or some sort of wild strike that he throws. Magomed Ankalaev outclasses Johnny Walker in every aspect of mixed martial arts. And it's not to be disrespectful, it's just the facts here. And I see my root beer here. This is, I guess, brought to you by Diet Root Beer. I'm just kidding. Thought I'd break up the monotony here. But anyway, so I think that Magomed Ankalaev just overall is the better mixed martial artist. He's 18-1-1. Johnny Walker, I believe, 21-7. Johnny Walker's a wild card. He bursted on the scene in the beginning and everyone was like, this is the next dude, man. And then he goes and does the worm and blows out his shoulder and has just been very hot and cold since. I can't trust Johnny Walker. I can't trust Johnny Walker. I don't know which Johnny Walker we're going to see at UFC 294. If it's the Johnny Walker that we've seen, where he's gotten wins over Paul Craig. He's gotten wins over guys that, you're like, those are impressive wins. I just look at his last fight against Anthony Smith, and I just can't trust Johnny Walker. When he fought against Jamal Hill and did the, and got, I hate to make fun of someone that gets KO'd, but, did that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in a fight. Johnny Walker's a weirdo. He's a weirdo in there. I think he's got very unpredictable striking. He definitely has knockout power. He was putting some good leg kicks on display against Anthony Smith. He has the ability to get the job done, but it's just like we see too many different shades of Johnny Walker. Now, I'm going to get into more of the Magomed Ankalaev section of this. This is more so a giving credit to Magomed Ankalaev than it is just throwing shade on Johnny Walker, because at the end of the day, Johnny Walker's a good fighter. He's just not, he's very unpredictable. He's a wild card and he's not consistent. Those are my flaws. I gave him his credit with, he's just an unpredictable striker, and he's very athletic for his size. He's tall, he's in great shape, but he's very athletic. But Magomed Ankalaev poses some real threats to Johnny Walker and really everyone at 205. I know Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz went to a decision for the vacant title, and people were very critical of Ankalaev. He was getting his legs torn apart, and it was also a step up in competition for Magomed. Magomed had kind of bursted onto the scene, had this, this great record where he was only had that one loss. He's a guy that's, what I like about Magomed Ankalaev is, one, he doesn't speak any English, so we don't know almost anything that he's saying, and it keeps things very mysterious. And he's from Dagestan, he's from Dagestan, but he's the polar opposite of what you think when you think of the Dagestani fighters. You think of Habib, you think of Islam, you think of all these guys that try and take you down and dominate you. Magomed Ankalaev is very much a striker, and he's a very high level striker. He's good everywhere. Magomed Ankalaev, he has a great round kick. He has a great front kick up the middle. He's got a piston of a left hand that he likes to throw. If you want me to compare his striking to someone, it reminds me of a Dominic Reyes when Dominic Reyes bursted onto the scene. Not a lot of weapons in the striking, but very good at the basics that he uses. Ankalaev is a little one-dimensional on the feet. He is a little one-dimensional. He's kind of predictable. It's that left hand. So that is kind of the worry here. But Magomed is very patient. He's very good at getting out of the way and not taking damage and not letting you get off those combos and not letting you kind of get to him with your power. He's good at sliding away. He's good at circling off. And then the ability to take you down. He was able to take down Jan Blachowicz and keep Jan Blachowicz on the ground. Now, I know Jan's not exactly a wrestler, and he does have, high-level kickboxing, Muay Thai credentials. But Ankalaev was able to take him down and hold him down, and Jan Blachowicz is a guy that, he's taken people down and held them down. He has 9 submission wins on his record. So it's not like Jan's just some scrub on the ground, right? I just think Magomed Ankalaev has more ways to win this fight. I trust Magomed Ankalaev more than I do Johnny Walker. I understand that Johnny Walker has a more diverse striking arsenal than Magomed Ankalaev. I just think that fight was a wake-up call for Magomed Ankalaev when he fought Jan Blachowicz. I just think that this is a fight that's going to make Magomed better. It was a fight where I think that he underestimated Jan a little bit. I think that he thought he was going to be able to go in there and just snipe him with a left hand. We've seen Magomed do it all in there. We've seen him take people down, maul them, hold them down, control time, and we've also seen him hurt people on the feet. We saw what he did to Ion Cutelaba with that sniper of a left hand that he throws. He could just slide back right out of the way. And I think that this is going to be a 3-round fight. So, I think that if Johnny Walker tries to come out there and play tick for tack, then he has a pretty good shot. Because Magomed Ankalaev is not a volume guy. I think Johnny Walker can put out more strikes and have a higher output and get a decision win in that regard. But if Magomed Ankalaev tries to take this fight to the floor, I don't think Johnny Walker is going to be able to defend the takedown, and Ankalaev is going to be able to get this fight on the floor and win off control time. Maybe he pulls off a submission. I don't really see that. But if Johnny Walker gets aggressive and tries to go out there and be fun and, feeling the Abu Dhabi crowd, Ankalaev, I think, is going to catch him with that left hand and be able to get some type of finish, because I think Jamal Hill's a very good fighter. But in terms of technique and crisp striking, Ankalaev has the cleaner striking than Jamal Hill. Now, what I mean by that is Jamal Hill, and overall, I think is a better striker maybe than Ankalaev, because he throws things a little more looping. He likes to throw in combinations and blitz forward. Where with Magomed, he's kind of more patient and just kind of waits and then slides back and boom, hits you with a left hand. That's what I like about Ankalaev. He's just kind of there's this aura with Magomed Ankalaev where he's not playing games. He's very just locked into the moment and is very he's very patient and calculated in there, which can hurt you in a 3-round fight. What do you all think? I'm rolling with Magomed Ankalaev. I think he gets the job done. I like Magomed Ankalaev. I think that he's a guy that could be a future champion at 205. I think that he possesses all the skills. His grappling is sensational. He just never really uses it because he prefers to strike on the feet. And again, it's hard to just wrestle heavy when you get up into the 205 and then heavyweight weight classes. It's taxing on the body despite how good your cardio is. I just think Johnny Walker's very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. He does have diverse striking, but I think that Johnny Walker, in a way, he should have been able to get Anthony Smith out of there, and he didn't. He didn't get him out of there. And I know Anthony Smith is tough. He's been around for a while. He's durable, but Anthony Smith's also a lot older. And and you could say the same thing for Ankalaev when he fought Jan Blachowicz, but Jan Blachowicz is, he just had a crazy fight with Alex Pineda. So what do you all think? Comment below, like, subscribe. I appreciate you all. I'm rolling with Magomed Ankalaev. I think he gets the job done. I think he's the more complete fighter. He's the fighter that takes the game maybe a little more serious than Johnny Walker does. I know Johnny Walker likes to have his fun. I have no problem with that. But I just can't trust Johnny Walker in a big fight. That's what this comes down to. I think it's a fun matchup. I think that, I think Magomed Ankalaev is just going to be able to get this one done. I can see this playing out a little similar to the Ion Cutelaba fight between Ankalaev and Johnny Walker. I think Ankalaev gets the job done. I'm going TKO here. I think Magomed Ankalaev gets maybe a second round TKO. And he's going to be one more fight away after this one for fighting for the belt again. I think he's a future champ at the weight class. What do you all think? Like, subscribe. Appreciate you all. See you in the next one.